prepared yet.
You need to try and pick off the units as...
Look at the shields on the mark.
Oh my god, the drone's gonna take them!
Yo guys, this is Tasteless here. I'm with Artosis. We're here at the IPL in game number 2 with NightEnD against Tarson. Game number 1 was actually pretty educational, a real good example of why you don't get blink before Zealot legs in a 2-base situation like that. Yeah.
And, you know, blink obviously, in the long run, a very useful upgrade, stops drops and stuff like that, but if you're just sitting on 2-base, you don't need blink so much. Blink is more for when you have to get around the map real quick and react to stuff real quick, but I don't know, man. I'm a fan of getting that quick charge, especially when you're going Storm off 2-base. It's a build that I've used a ton in PvT. And without that charge, those timings are going to hit you, man. It takes a while to get Storm actually going.
Well, you know, the good thing about Zealot legs is you don't have to do a lot once you have it with the Zealots. They basically, you know, do it themselves. They rush in there. You don't have to do a lot of micro maneuvers and stuff like that, like you'd have to do with blink. But yeah, definitely, especially when you see a Raven in the game, getting blink and getting more stalkers is just not an option.
Yeah. Well, this is Xel'Naga Caverns, NightEnD against Tarson. Game number 2, of course, as we've been saying. But before it picks up, add IGN Pro League to your Twitter. It is an amazing tournament. This is Season 2. We're just so happy to be here with all these other great casters, with these awesome players, these amazing games that we've seen so far. So go ahead and add them, as well as Call Me Tasteless and Artosis. You won't regret it.
You make the right choices. Just do it. Get on Twitter. And as you can see, similar to game number 1, our Protoss is going to scout very early here. Getting in there, he wants to check and see, is there going to be a second gas taken? Can I even find that out before a Marine is made? Which is going to drive me out.
You being the probe.
Yep.
Alright.
I'm speaking, you know, the probe first person.
Yeah, I see that. Sometimes Tasteless speaks in third person, sometimes first person is someone else. He's a crazy guy.
Rarely
he does
second
crazy
person,
things.
but yeah.
Yeah.
You go up the ramp, you see the second gas, you leave and prepare for Banshees.
Alright, here comes the SCV, gonna scout what it can scout. Tarson sees the core, all very standard. He's gonna be able to see that second gas as well, though. And that's one of the big things Terran wants to scout also. Check if he has that second gas, because that changes what can be done. If it's one gas, it's either going to be a very aggressive all-in, or it's going to be a quick nexus. So right now, NightEnD not really giving anything away to Tarson.
And he's going to be chrono boosting out a Stalker here, also very common. He wants to make sure the SCV is out of there as soon as possible. Sometimes we see Protosses take the probes off of the assimilator, the second assimilator for instance, and then go for a quick expand. That's an easy way to trick the Terran. One of those strategies that really only works against a good player. In this case we have 2 barracks coming here from Tarson, so he might be going for some early pressure here. Maybe a rush, we're going to see.
Yeah. Well, we have the Stalker walking out in the map, gonna start scouting a little bit with his Stalker quicker than all the other early game units. So, provides some nice little map control. You can poke some Marines, sometimes just lose some shields for it. 3 gates going up. Looks like it's probably going to be a 3-gateway expansion. You can do a lot of pressure with that while expanding a very popular build in the current Protoss metagame.
Alright, here's what Artosis was talking about, doing a little bit of damage there with Stalker. And he only lost, what, 8 hit points there.
Yeah, for 8 hit
Shields
points
will come
killing a
back.
Marine? Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a good trade right there. And, well, just looks like it's going to be some 2 barracks pressure from Tarson. Just an excellent opener. Both these guys really doing some great openers.
Tarson has breached the defenses of NightEnD here. He's going to get in there, and he's going to get a glimpse of what's going on inside the base.
This is a bit
It
weird.
looks
He
like...
canceled the gate
I was about to say,
and
like,
restarted it.
we saw those gateways making a while ago, unless we went
Yeah.
back in time. I think what happened is he probably saw the small number of Marines initially and decided, I could probably attack. I mean,
Or
attack my
expand.
Stalker and expand here. And then, you know, now he knows better.
Yeah.
He's all the wiser now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. And that's too bad for NightEnD, because if you have those 3 gates as this attack comes, you hold it really easily. It's just no issue. As is, you might have to sit up his ramp for a minute, collect a few more units, and then move down.
I'm actually a little bit scared. He's even moving down right now with a Marauder in their concussive shell, as strong as it is.
But Tarson did see those 3 gates, tasteless, so he is going to run away to fight again another day, making that command center before the Nexus starts for Protoss, so he'll just have a slight economic advantage.
Well, now it's going to be up to NightEnD to continue to tech. And, yeah, hold that thought, though. We have a scouting SCV.
Will he be caught?
Is he going to be spotted?
He is running for his life,
No.
Tasteless, just like I would do in any wartime situation.
I am curious from here on out how the Protoss is going to handle this situation. He's been in a little bit of an odd position where the Terran's been doing a lot more dictating. NightEnD having a little bit more of a harder time reading everything here.
Yeah, he is getting that robotics bay up, so wants to play safe. That's actually quite quick. I think he's going to be using that for Colossus. Only makes sense. Tarson has a nice spread, stims on the way. He's pretty much as safe as you can be as a Terran right now. There's really nothing that he's going to be too scared of. Getting his factory up. Probably going to get a turret eventually, just to make sure that NightEnD doesn't do anything cheeky.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, you know, on this map, it's a map where you can counterattack a lot. There's a lot of different little angles you can go around. It's pretty open. You know, we have these back doors and stuff like that. You know, with the Terran army looking like what it is right now, as you can see here, Marines and Marauders, Medivacs will be here soon. There's a high chance he's going to be splitting his army up here and there, doing a lot of drops and a lot of pokes. You know, with Marauders especially, you can snipe down a Nexus so quickly that sometimes even if the Protoss has blink or charge, you don't get there in time.
Yeah, that's very true. And look at that, getting blink right away as you say that, Tasteless. So it looks like he's not actually using this robotics for Colossus. Instead, just using it for observers, and that is one of our Toast's favorite moves. So I hear. The observer might be the best unit in the game. Forget about the Marauder. Forget about the Infestor. It's all about the observer.
It can fly and it can detect.
It's invisible.
And it's all around a nice guy.
It is, man. You never see any kill counts on an observer, do you?
No.
All right.
The pacifist of StarCraft 2. Actually, I like this build a lot. It's one I'm starting to tamper with a whole lot nowadays. Is just not getting Colossus right away. You don't have to turn the game into Viking against Colossus.
Yeah, you don't have to. You can actually go for Warp Gate units. You just upgrade them. You just gain that +1 attack, which is actually pretty interesting to me. It looks like he's going to focus primarily upon Blink Stalkers. If you see that +1 in a gateway situation for Protoss, that's what that means. Because if you get the +1 attack, the armor, Zealots are going to be very useful. But with that quick +1 attack, that means, hey, I want to poke around with my Stalkers a lot.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Artosis. Looks like the Terran's ready to move out on the map now.
That is a lot of Marines, and we really don't have anything that does splash damage for NightEnD. Normally you're going to want High Templars or Colossus to deal with high Marine counts, but he's going to have the +1, it looks like, right before Tarson could possibly hit. He's just going to have to rely completely upon force fields to hold this off.
Yeah, this can be the tricky part when you go for a build like this. He's going to be moving in here. One Marine over here checking just to make sure there's no expansion over there. Protoss has got to be very careful. It looks like he may go for an elevator strat here.
Yeah, he may in fact go for a drop. It's it's very smart to do such things.
A little bit of miss micro there by NightEnD.
Yeah, it definitely could have done a lot of damage to Medivac. Probably not kill one there, but a lot of damage, no doubt. Now Templar Archives finishing up. Starts Psystorm the second it does, so definitely we are going to see some High Templar play here, and that's just smart, man. If he just sits in his 2 base, gets some High Templars out, Tarson is going to be in trouble if he doesn't have any ghosts.
Yeah, you got that right, Artosis. And speaking of which, he's getting the ghost. Well, he actually has rather the Ghost Academy, and he's doing a good job. He's continuing to upgrade. I think the issue here now is who's going to expand first and where. You can take the gold base. Generally, though, if we see somebody take the gold base as their third, they lose.
Yeah,
you just see them get rushed, they die.
It's pretty hard to actually hold that third base gold as Protoss this early on. I definitely am a huge fan of taking the low ground. Of course, against High Templar base play, that making a planetary can be very good against Protoss because you don't have the Colossus to outrange it.
The only thing you can do is use the High Templars to storm the workers and
So
try
it
to
can't
kill it
be
that way.
repaired, yeah.
But then again, you of course still have a planetary and all these Terran units. So, yeah, it's pretty tough. Normally, you have to stop the Terran from even setting up there.
Yep.
If Terran gets to set up, you're going to be in trouble.
Well, everything moving out. There are 2 Ghosts out in the field, 5 High Templars with 5 Sentries. So that's a lot of things that need to be EMP'd, especially if he spreads them out. Look at that, 2 Vikings tasteless. Blindly going Vikings against someone who is not going Colossus can be a bit risky.
I think he probably made those 2, then scanned and realized, oh, why not a good idea. All right, here we go. He's going to attack expansion, instant cancel.
And that only makes sense because when you're actually playing against Marine Marauder, you should not be expanding versus Protoss to your 3rd at least. And here we go, it's stimming, moving up. Here come in all the units. We're going to have to get some great EMPs off for Tarson. One EMP does go off, another EMP goes off. But there's still Side Storms left, and look at that, some nice Side Storms, softening up those units quite a bit. A Zealot flank coming up, and Tarson, he has to get out of there, Tasteless. Well, actually, good storm dodging, and with those Zealots coming up, it looks like Tarson's army will be eliminated, but does more damage than you might have thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little scrappy crew here, but he is still getting some kills up, taking out the sentries. It's just 2 Stalkers, and
scrappy, swashbuckling crew of Marines and
indeed.
Man.
Also, I just want to point out, we had a shot of it for a second, that the Nexus had full energy. He's not been chrono boosted enough.
You've got to chrono boost upgrades, man.
Yeah, you don't need to be stockpiling chrono boost right now. You're too late in the game. I think ideally, though, Tarson should have forced that Nexus to cancel and then actually left. Picked up with his medevacs and gotten out of there.
Yep, you're very right.
You don't need to engage there. You've already won. Oh!
Wow, that was lucky, man. If those had still been there, he could have easily taken out 2 dropships.
Yeah, he had Blake and everything.
I know. That was a perfect opportunity missed. Of course, he could not have known. His observer, though, scouting right here, will be able to see those dropships come up. So I don't think that this drop will actually do anything for Mr. Tarson.
It'll depend on how many units he gets out. Stim with Marine Marauder.
So sending his units back now. He sees it. Zealots being warped in. Ooh, is that High Templars tasteless? Some feedbacks.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Sick feedbacks right there. And we just have a very low health medevac. And that drop is basically over at this point.
Looks like the Vikings at this point in time, their role is now to scout. He can't really use those things offensively.
Stalker.
Oh no.
Tarson in a hard spot.
Yeah, he just lost 2 medevacs. He did literally 0 damage to the Protoss.
Didn't even unload him.
I mean, I guess the only thing he actually did was make a Templar spend energy.
Yeah.
But that energy, of course, paid for itself by destroying those units. So Tarson in a terrible spot right now.
Yeah.
Expanding very late, just now getting Ghost Cloak.
That's a smart move. I mean, when you're behind, you have to get in there. You have to take out just so many of the High Templars, so many of the Sentries, to have any chance at winning when you've lost this many units doing nothing. Look at this. We got 70 probes against 57 SCVs. And then just a very mediocre Terran force against a scary, look at that, 13 High Templars. He's got as many High Templars as he has Zealots tasteless.
Well, it looks like a Protoss is going to go down here, and I think probably engage. He might as well. And actually, now it looks like he's going to go ahead and go around to the back here. And this is a really good move. If you have High Templars, you can do stuff like this because Terran has to move into you.
Yeah, and you storm, and those Marines are dead, man. They are dead. And
be careful, his observer has been picked off. But look, the Terran's not mining from the space. Meanwhile, Protoss is taking the gold. And watch, as Terran gets ready to engage, it's just very easy to pull out 1 High Templar, as we see here.
And, I mean, what are you going to do? EMP that? You don't have a lot of ghosts right now, Tarson. Be very careful about this. So some nice Blink Stalker play here. He's going to want to move out, though.
And look at this. Now that the Terran's army is up here and he's ready to engage, he says, nah, I'm out of here. I already took out a lot of your SCVs. I'm going to go back home and make more stuff and get more ahead.
That is quite true. Tarson, by the way, lifted that command center at the 3rd. I think he thought there was going to be a little juke and jive with the Protoss units running in, but that is not the case. NightEnD moving back, getting some reinforcements.
Ghosts are ready.
They are ready. In fact, take out this observer. Nice move right there. And in the meantime, NightEnD doing that counterattack finally.
NightEnD more like NiceEnD as he attacks his base over here. Terran is forced to lift off. Again, hold that thought.
That's so many Marines, such a Marine-heavy composition against this many High Templars.
Well, you know why? Is because he hasn't been able to get another base of gas.
49 Marines, 19 Marauders, 9 Medivacs, and 1 Ghost against someone with 12 High Templars tasteless.
NightEnD actually attacking those rocks for a minute. That's a little bit too eager there. You have to destroy everything on the map. That might be the only thing in the entire map you don't want to attack. But he's backed up. Probably a misclick there.
Well, we see this is actually a very fearsome army. He is maxed out. He's got a very nice unit composition. And Tarson is just, I mean, he's at 177 supply, so that's pretty good, but he's having a hard time keeping a third going while NightEnD needs to face a fourth. And here we go. Looks like NightEnD wants to attack in here, but does end up retreating. I just like one little thing, Tastes, to see those High Templars split up a little bit more.
Yeah, you know what you can do is put like one. Hold that thought.
Oh,
nice. I was
nice
gonna say, do we have a
feedback.
good EMP instead? No.
Oh,
Well,
that's a funny story.
wasn't the worst storm in the world. It was
Nope.
kind of odd positioning.
And this is getting a little bit scary now for Tarson. Tarson moving in, but that is just, I like see where you want to storm right there, man. Look at all this.
Look at that.
Bam! Huge storms going down, and Tarson's supply is plummeting, absolutely plummeting, going down 140 supply at the moment. More and more Psy storms, and that is going to be GG.
GG.
Good night to Tarson. That is the end of him. And we're going to have to go on to the rubber match, Tastes, game number 3.
Let's do it.